Let's hope that we get a little bit of a longer round than we did last
Yes,
time.
an actual back and forth versus that grueling beatdown. See a call by the grave. Kind of a little peek at what he's playing. All the shuffle up. Do you know what Alonzo might be playing?
I'm actually not too sure, really.
Hey,
Looks like he's getting his dice out.
Jalani rolls a 9
Nine, strong nine.
and a not so strong 3.
I don't know. You never know. Like we said, we're both two
Yeah,
decks that like to
exactly.
go
So
seconds
he could be one
being
also.
represented, and it
But
looks like Jelani's on
Spiral,
spirals.
yes. And opens
Um,
up with the Magician Souls.
that's basically full combo right there, as long as you can get the extender. Alonzo is setting his hand as to say that he does not have any interruptions.
Big red for the master plan. Master plan effect.
See,
There's
Alonzo is doing
rescue.
something I would do. I play like I have no hand traps until
Yeah, I
it's
do that
actually
all the
relevant.
time. And then I'll just say, actually, wait. Surprise.
Oh, and he's drawing two with the souls. This deck is kind of unfair sometimes.
Very much. Souls is. And I feel if Souls were to get hit at all, I would feel bad for Dark Magician players because they didn't do anything wrong. They just. What is he? I see Call by the Grave in his hand. I'm trying to see what. Is he playing Magician? Stop me.
I'm not too
I'm not
sure.
sure
I
what
saw a
that trap.
trap that I
Yeah, I
wasn't
saw the.
familiar with,
Yes.
but
Into barricade board blocker. Dump the jet synchron.
plays for days. Jet
Yeah.
Synchron means that Jelani might be on the scrap variant of the deck, which is possibly one of the better variants for it.
All of these players, and he only now uses normal summon. Deck is so strong when it works.
Yeah, the one big problem that the Spiral deck does have that Jelani opened to combat perfectly is fighting the drones. I'm sorry, not the drones. The drone Lockbird.
Yes, it definitely does have a very hard time dealing with that card. I do believe you are correct that he is playing the scrap variant. I believe I saw a golem in hand. I'm not 100% sure though.
Yeah, unless you're playing the scrap variant, not a lot of players end up playing the uh the scrap synchron.
Yes, the jet synchron.
Jet synchron. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, fine. Add another big red to hand.
Oh, it might be Unchained actually. What Alonzo's playing.
Okay.
Um,
Push summon big red. Can we see?
and yes, it is Unchained.
Yes.
Uh,
So he knows about it.
Johnny's putting Call by the Grave to the
Yes.
very bottom of those three. I think he stacked the monster on top of that.
He gave him a DD Crow.
And looks like Hyde is just adjusting the table to be better on stream. Thank you very much, Hyde. But the Droll and Lockbird. Or, I'm sorry, not the
Yeah, the
the
DD Crow.
DD
They
Crow.
put on top.
That's another powerful hand trap that Jelani can search in his deck. Oh, man. I feel like this might be a blowout if it ends on the usual board.
Going app. Yep. Like he's thinking about going app.
Yeah, I think Appaloosa might be the correct play. Yep, there we go. Save
App
yourself
for 2.
from the Nibiru play. And now he goes into the Recital Starling, right,
Yep.
to get the
His
hand
own
trap
DD
search.
Crow.
No, DD Crow or the... Does it have to be a Darkwind Beast? Or?
Yes, it has to
Oh,
be level 1. So it's only DD Crow it searches, unfortunately. It would add Droll. That would be so good.
oh, man. And he's reading his own Jet Synchron to see if he can summon it.
I believe Justin going to just pitch one card.
Which the pitch is rather relevant in the
Yes.
Spiral matchup since you're always adding your traps back to your hand.
For 2 again.
Definitely setting up for the Trigate.
Trigate and Sleeper.
And on top of that, he's going to end with the utility wire, too.
They're definitely going to have a very strong board. And with Alonzo already having one Call by Grave in hand and drawing DD Crow, he only has 4 cards to really work with.
The one benefit he will have playing Unchained, though, is that Sleeper will not really be too effective versus him
Yeah,
because of they benefit from being
being
popped.
destroyed, exactly.
And Alonzo letting Jalani take the playback.
Now, typically, if I'm at locals, you want to take something back, sure, we're all here to learn. But
Uh,
usually in
I
higher scale
mean,
tournaments,
it's
it's
a tier 2 event.
exactly. If you're entering the tournament, it means that you're confident that you know what your deck does. When you make a play,
I mean,
that's it.
Jalani did have that play to recur itself either way,
Yeah, so it
but
would have been the same thing for the most part, but
unless does he play 2 of the Recital Starling?
I don't believe so. I think he's linking off now.
Yeah.
Yes. And we hear a judge calling him back.
It's crazy how much these cameras pick up.
Yes, pick up everything. So he goes into
and so Jelani's choosing not to end on the typical board, but just making sure his Appaloosa can't be destroyed by card or battle.
huh.
And I believe that is the Rhoda for the Unchained archetype. Alonso choosing to rearrange
Uh
his deck in one way, shape, or form.
wish we could see what he searched as he placed it slightly off camera.
I think we need to recenter the table a little bit before the next round happens.
But just let the competitors know when they search cards, so just show it on the mat itself.
Yeah,
I believe he just revealed. Oh, he set 3 back row.
he's setting 3 back row. One of the Unchained cards does have a effective special. It summons itself by targeting a card to destroy. I'm not sure if it destroys it for cost. And he is choosing to activate it. Palauza is choosing to negate it.
Down to 1 negate on app.
Going for the normal summon now.
Is where does he go from here? See, I'm not too familiar with the whole
Well, Unchained would
Unchained.
need to. I'm not sure that monster attack points here.
So I'm gonna
It
pull
looks
it up
like he
myself.
is attacking into the Apollo Uza though. And Jelani's just explaining that because it's co-linked by both Cerberus
It
and
can't die.
Phoenix, it
Being destroyed
cannot
by.
die at all this time. Um, that one is Unchained Twins Aruha. That has 1500.
So
So
it's 800 attack on Apple. So he's down 700.
yeah, so
So
Jelani should be at
so
7300.
yes,
We're obviously a bit slow on math ourselves.
we just weren't sure what the
The
attack
attack
points
of
of
the
the
monster
monster
was.
was. But
Uh,
the monster is in fact Unchained Twins Aruha.
I'm a little bit Yugi drained from yesterday. Oh, the tough. Wonder if he's going to use the effect to pop.
And it looks like he is.
Uh,
Oh, he
that
called trap. Oh, thief. Oh, it is a trap on top, so it does get popped.
It does get an effect when popped,
Yes.
so it might not be in Jalani's best interest
To
to be destroying the
in
back
back
row
row.
at this point.
But they could all, in fact, just be bluffs that only do something when destroyed. See him, Alonzo doing some calculations. So it special summons a monster.
So that one is the. Let me just pull up a list of Unchained cards
Is
here.
that Unchained Soul?
Um, yeah, that is Unchained Soul.
Abominable Unchained Soul. 3,000 attack, 1,500 defense.
And let's see what its destruction effect is. If this card's in the graveyard because it was destroyed on the field and sent there this turn, you can special summon it back. But place it back on the bottom when it leaves the field. And it
If
could
this
also,
card is special summon, you can discard one card, destroy one card on the field. So the only problem is he can only really destroy Jelani's two face down cards because
uh,
his Apple and everything is co-linked.
and he
Wait,
can't target any of the spiral monsters as well because of the
actually,
last
it
resort.
it doesn't target, so it's
Ooh,
actually he can actually get rid of the Helix or the Tough.
I guess he chose not to, or maybe he targeted the wrong card. Oh no, Jelani did take the dice off the
So
Appaloosa, so I
he
think the
negated it.
negates are all used up. I think Jelani might be going for the Trigate board now.
Yep, there's Trigate Wizard. Like he's doing some calculations to see if he can possibly
No, I
go
believe
for.
he's just explaining the full effects of
Oh,
the
Trigate
Trigate
Wizard,
Wizard.
yes.
Trying to do a little lip reading here.
Is that fine? Yeah, I just.
Ooh, that is. What Unchained card is that?
That will be Escape of the Unchained. Target one Unchained monster you control and one card on the field. Destroy both. If this set card is destroyed by card effect, you can special summon one Unchained monster from your deck. You can use the effect of Unchained Escape of the Unchained once per turn. And there's Utility Wire.
Ooh, is it if you destroy?
No, it's just target. The cost of the target, and then it's destroy both.
Ooh. Uh, did the destruction effect resolve?
I believe he targeted the Utility Wire, which is why it went to
Oh.
grave.
Oh yeah. I think that's on DD Crow and
And
the call
Jelani had the
by
call by the
for the
grave,
DD Crow, making DD Crow useless in
which
Jelani's
is probably
hand.
why Jelani gave him the Crow in the first place, because he knew he had an answer for it.
Is that also Souls in Jelani's hand?
I see Last Resort. It is a Souls in his hand.
Souls, Double Crow, Last Resort. I think he might have the Sleeper on top of that. Ooh, and
So
this
he's
card's a
special.
dangerous one. I believe that one lets you link summon on your opponent's turn.
Unchained Soul of Disaster. 0 attack but 3,000 defense. Gain 300 attack for each Unchained card in your graveyard. So it has a little attack right now. And if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you target one Unchained monster graveyard and special summon it. He's going into Unicorn. He's just gonna bounce it.
It's going to be a tough spot for Alonzo to come back from, seeing as he has basically going to be top decking at the end of the turn.
Yes. I'm
Um,
not sure if Unchained has any one card comeback mechanics.
well, if he is able to get rid of the Unchained Soul, it will return on the unfazed because it was destroyed on the field this turn, but it will be sent to the bottom of the deck like Destrudo. But it
The
looks
problem
like
is,
Jelani is just going to push for the OTK.
yeah,
That should be
it,
enough for game. Oh, Yeah,
Yep, it's
that's gonna
game.
be
They scooped
enough.
it up. So now players are gonna. Jelani wins game one, and the players are gonna side and prepare for game two. Now, I was getting ready to say that the Abominable Unchained wouldn't have actually came back because its very first line is you can only special summon it once per turn, and it was special summoned from the deck that turn because the card was destroyed.
Okay, so
So it wouldn't have even came back at the end
it's
phase.
good to know. I wonder what Alonzo is going to be able to side in for the matchup. Spirals is supposed to be one of the more popular decks, but most players in locals obviously cannot get their hands on the 3 souls
Yes.
that you need to play the deck. The best Spiral card that is.
Spiral Souls.
Yeah, it's Spiral Souls, man. Might as well have printed it that way. Make it searchable.
He really wiped out like his entire bar and like
Yes.
at once. Bro, what? Wild.
That's the thing about these games. A player can have advantage, and then just like that, game's over.
One fell swoop.
Yep. Only life point that matter is the last one in this game, unfortunately.
Zam.
Let's
But
see.
yeah, Souls has dropped slightly in price, but
Jelani's
it's starting to
choosing
come
to
back.
take out his impermanences and
He's
siding
putting
in
in
the
evenly, so
evenlies.
I think Jelani's under the impression that he's going second. But I'm
Which
not.
would make sense from
Yes.
Alonso's point of view because he does need to get a little steam going. If he's not able to set up a board presence with his monsters, there's not much he can do. But he does
But
have
he's
a
taking out
couple
draw
of,
power. It looks like I saw one of the cards coming out was Desires.
which might not be a bad move. Unchained really just have a strategy set up where they can link twice on your turn, once with their monsters and the second time with your monsters, and then end up on their link 4. But it'll be an interesting strategy to see what they're going, what their overall is. I just saw some lightning storms left in Jalani's side as well, which is probably a good idea.
Yeah, don't want to be destroying anything, giving them any recursion. Now, this at an OTS that I went to yesterday, this Unchained deck actually did win the entire event. Apparently, this list is relatively new that people found, so
Let's see
it
if
has that
Alonzo is
surprise
piloting
factor.
something like that. But Jelani just seems to have the experience on him, or at least that's what Game 1 showed us.
Yes.
From my experience going up against Spirals, it's usually a tale of two halves. They get Game 1, and I just Game 2 and Game 3. But Game 3 is the big toss-up. And Jelani opening up the fridge from the scraps. Alonzo is choosing go first, setting 4. And revealing an Unchained card. And I believe that one's going to special summon one from the deck now.
Now, which one is that?
Oh, that's the new promo one that came out with these special editions. What is its name? Let's use
New
the little.
Unchained card. Let's check on TCG. See if we can pull that card up.
Because I know it's a twin. Is it this one? Oh yeah, the special edition card. 1500 attack, 1500 defense. You can target one Unchained card in your graveyard except Unchained Twin Samara. Set it to your field and destroy one card you control. If this card on the field is destroyed by card effect except by its own effect, or by battle, you can special summon one Unchained monster from your hand or deck except itself. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn.
So it's now Jelani's turn, and that's an anti-spell. So
Anti-spell will hurt the deck a little bit, but
no field spell.
he might be able to unicorn it out before doing anything.
Yes, or even Phoenix it away.
But then he will be wasting the resources of the both Phoenix or the
Yeah,
unicorn,
either
depending what he
way,
wants to do.
But seeing as during combo, the deck usually goes barricade board blocker anyway, it might not be a waste depending on what he's going to be pitching from his hand.
And I believe Alonzo does not have any cards in hand, so he might not have anything to stop Jelani's board. Usually just having the one drone Lockbird will stop the whole combo. And it looks like Jalani does have his full scrap combo, which will be able to get rid of the anti-spell anyway.
Yes. He's explaining Wyvern to him currently.
Scrap Wyvern is such a powerful card.
All
Ooh,
about
and the call by the grave for the recycler.
That might have definitely put Jelani's combo to a full halt.
See, this is the worst part about playing a roguish deck like the Unchained. You're not really too sure what the cards do or what they can side in against you. Call by the Grave was a staple for Game 1 for Alonzo as well as Jalani, but Jalani's not too sure how to play out of this one, having already committed his normal summon, and he might not have any special summon extenders outside of that 1-for-1 he's being forced to set.
And he's passing, not wanting to destroy any of the monsters by battle and give him any effects.
Well, he should be able to destroy the twins. The new card from the Onyxa and Assault Special Edition, since it doesn't have an effect when destroyed by battle.
I'm wondering why he decided to leave it there.
Unless I looked up the wrong card. Ooh, he is making a break sword.
Target itself and target the back row because he knows it's a spell card that Jalani would need. A lot of Unchained effects going off here. Special summons the big guy again. Abominable. Unchained Souls.
No, that's not the souls. That's the
Unchained.
that one's the Soul of Disaster.
Soul Disaster.
Yeah, so this one lets him link with Jelani Scrap Wyvern right now. Into which one's that one? That's
That's
the link.
Unchained Soul of Anguish.
And okay, that one's gonna also let him link summon with monsters his opponent controls. So right now it doesn't really have an effect, but Jelani is in fact going to be taking all his damage.
I believe he passed to Jalani.
There might have been an attack somewhere in there, so
You can assume he attacked for 24, and how much attack is the other one?
15.
So that's 39.
Yeah,
So that'll put Jalani at 41.
yeah. 16 minutes in the round. We definitely got a longer match than we did in that round one.
Yes. Well, it looks like Jalani,
and Jalani is scooping up.
Yes, going to game 3.
Is interesting. Jelani's definitely going to choose to side in to go first. One would only assume.
Yes. And it makes sense to scoop here. Only 16 minutes left. That's one thing that you know. When you're a seasoned competitor, you know, like there's no point in wasting time attempting to try to make something
extend
happen.
the game state.
Just scoop it up, go to the next one, and
especially when you're playing a deck like Jalani or like a combo deck where you need the first 5 minutes or so of your turn 1 to set up your board. Assuming that Alonzo doesn't have any interruptions for him. Now, good cards to side against the Spiral matchup will probably be Droll and Lockbird, Ruler No More, or my personal favorite tech choice right now, Sphere Mode.
Definitely. Sphere Mode, definitely a card that should be seeing a lot more play now with all these combo decks running around, and especially with Master Rule 5, you know there's going to be a ton of different combo decks running around out there. So
Yeah, especially against the spiral matchup. The sphere mode is going to be able to take out the Appaloosa, the Trigate, and the sleeper all in one fell swoop. You're just giving your opponent a body that you can't attack or target. Evenly's definitely went back out. Jalani might just be choosing to go back to his turn, his game one board.
Yes. I'm just not sure why he chose for the Apple Undestructible versus going. Well, obviously Sleeper isn't as good, so that could possibly be why he chose not to go Sleeper, try Gate.
Well, it's sleeper negates and banishes, so sleeper Trigate might be the or
I mean,
the
try Gate
the Trigate Appaloosa
banishes.
board
Yeah.
might be better,
Yeah,
but I
I figured it
understand
was
why he
better.
didn't go for the sleeper
Yes.
until he was going for game.
Alonzo's doing his little power shuffle, stacking his deck and patiently waiting.
You know, I always forget how fast or how fast the time goes when you're a player. We did lose about 2 minutes between
Yes,
siding and shuffling, and it felt
exactly.
almost like nothing to us.
That's why it's definitely important to recognize when to scoop and go to the next game versus trying to hold out. Because had Jelani tried to, force more plays, that's more time gone, and then the siding and shuffling.
And
But it looks like Jelani has a decently
Jelani
strong hand.
should have
Ooh,
full combo.
yeah,
That's
that's a
the
strong
Scrap
hand.
Recycler, Distant Souls. He
Oh,
did break with the Spiral Mission spell, but he does have the Call By and a Foolish, so that is.
yeah. So we should see a relatively strong board out of Jelani.
And let's see if Alonzo opened up any interruption. He is letting the Recycler go through. Did he open the Droll, though? That's the big question. Alright, and it looks like he will be able to get the full scrap combo off unless Alonzo will have any sort of interruption. An impermanence on the scrap wyvern should be able to
Will be
stop
strong,
everything,
definitely.
but he's activating, choosing to pop his back row. And here we go. We're getting the activation of the big old microwave. That scrap golem microwave and fridge combo. To get
Ooh,
another foolish
got a little
of the
peek at
recycler.
Alonzo's hand. He does have a Dark Ruler no more in it.
Ooh, that is going to be powerful against Jalani's board. But on the bright side, he will not be able to OTK him.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm curious.
actually, depending on what he foolish is. Oh, I think I see a
Is it?
Macrocosmos in there.
Looks like that was a rescue.
Yeah, that was definitely the rescue, but I think I did see Macrocosmo in Jelani's deck. And ooh, those are some unfortunate foolish options. He still does have the souls to go off and be able to extend to get his full board. And he chose to pop the foolish, I believe, with the
Wyvern. Banishing the rescue.
summoning the
Got quick
quick fix.
fix.
Yeah, it's definitely Macrocosmo in Jelani's deck.
Yeah. May I see the top three, please? Called by.
Oh, is that a think that was a solemn, whether it was the warning or not. That's probably one of the cards I would have sided out going into Game 3 with me
Yes.
timing the round procedures. Definitely don't want to be down on life points.
Yes, cards like Solemns, Destrudos, anything that takes a nice chunk of life. It is actually a warning. So
Yeah, honestly, the only card I keep in deck when going into the time that does take up life points is the Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion's too good of a card.
yes,
Cup of Noodles gets you plays, breaks boards. And we'll see the Appaloosa for 2 here, I believe.
and he's using effect to add the field spell and going for the sleeper.
Special summoning the quick fix with its own effect to get probably either a big red or get the last resort, depending on what Jalani's full hand composition is going to be.
He's decided on the big red.
Now we're going to see the Recital Starling play to get the DD Crow to the hand. Man, this almost reminds me of a Tier 0 Spiral format where you had to board 15 cards, all hand traps to even be able to play against them.
Yes, those are rough times.
Alright, he's adding the Super Agent with the Last Resort. Big red to get the Master Plan. Master Plan is going to get him another plus. I think Jelani's just trying to thin his deck as much as possible before activating the effect of Souls to summon itself and get the 2 additional draws. I did see Macro earlier in his deck. That would be a blood for the Unchained because it will remove a lot of their recursion plays. Jalani already having set up his graveyard to fully do what he wants it to do.
Lonnie is so set up right now. He's just playing solitaire at this point.
And the second big red.
I believe he's going to once again go for.
No,
Oh no,
here
he's going
we.
for Trigate this time, dude.
Yeah. I believe he is going to try on the Phoenix Trigate. I'm not sure if he will be wanting to end with the Last Resort or even use the Souls in hand. Setting the Call by the Grave.
If I'm Jelani, I'm probably just passing here. I don't see any reason to put the sleeper on board. Also, he's honestly better off saving it because it also doesn't really do much for him. So yeah, he is going to end phase, putting the master plan back in deck, and passing to his opponent.
Yeah. There we go. Alonzo's drawn for turn. And the ruler no more.
So is that normal summon?
I believe so. And he's just going to get rid of that Appaloosa.
So
now remember, Duelist, once your opponent does use Dark Ruler no more,
take no battle
you
damage.
do take no damage the entire turn. So
battle or effect damage.
I've seen a lot of Duelist misplaying, scooping up to a whole Borosaur board after the Dark Ruler. Your opponent cannot damage you. He is setting and passing. Now, this is definitely recoverable for Jalani. I do believe he plays the Link Karibo, so he will be able to get the co-linked Tri-Gate again. And there we go. He's starting it off with a bang. Magician Souls, Foolish for Cost. Oh, and there's the
there's the
warning.
warning.
So Alonzo will go down to 6,000 life points from that. Normal
Normal summon
summon of
Crow.
DD Crow.
Link Karibo.
All right, now here we go. He should be able to activate the Tri-Gate Banish effect and swing for damage, which it seems to what he is doing. Do you remember the attack points of Tri-Gate? I'm forgetting if it's 22 or 23.
Let's see. Tri-Gate Wizard.
And this should be
It
game.
should
He
be
just
game. The
summoned the
Tri-Gate is
sleeper.
22.
22, 19, 28. That sounds
Yeah,
like blowout.
that sounds like game.
Oh, there we go. Jelani is just entering battle phase, going for all the attacks.
There you go. That's game.
That smile on his face means he
Yeah.
got the game. Alrighty,
Definitely a
so
good match. So Jalani takes the match 2-1.
and we still have a couple of minutes for the rest of the other matches in the background. This will be the end of round 2.